Thanks to its internal fans, the S5iix doesn't have any overheating problem. But with 6 fan modes, how can you be sure you're picking the right one for your situation? The S5 II and iiX have the same internal fan system, consisting of the inlet right above the lens mount and 2 outlets on either side of the viewfinder. These feed air through a separate chamber that doesn't interact with the internals of the camera, keeping it safe from dust and moisture. Now, I'll explain all of the fan modes and let you know which one I use. First up is off. Pretty self-explanatory, but there is a caveat. It can only be used for photos. If you have it set to off and you switch to video, it's going to automatically go to fan mode Auto 1. I'll explain more about that in a bit. On to the second mode, slow. The fan runs constantly at its lowest speed. This is very quiet, but it still moves a decent amount of air. This speed also has a caveat. If you are recording higher than 60 frames per second or in a resolution higher than Cinema 4K, it will automatically switch to Auto 1. The next mode is normal. On normal, the fan runs constantly at its standard speed. It's still very quiet, not loud enough to be picked up by the in-camera microphone or a well-positioned shotgun mic. And then we have fast. The fan runs constantly at its highest speed. If you select fast, it prompts you with a warning that your camera might pick up the noise of the fans. The noise is definitely noticeable in this mode, but it's really moving some air for extra cooling. After I explain the next 2 settings, I'll get into when and why I use the fast mode. Next up is Auto 1. Depending on the camera's temperature, it'll automatically switch between slow and normal. When you're filming inside in a temperature-controlled environment, I would say it usually stays in slow for recordings under 15 minutes. The last setting is Auto 2. Similar to Auto 1, the camera will switch between normal and slow, but if you're in photo mode, it'll switch to off as well. If you're just snapping a few pictures every now and then, your fans are probably going to stay off. But if you're out in the sun or taking a lot of burst photos and your camera starts to heat up, it can switch to slow or normal fan mode. As soon as you turn the dial to video mode, it will automatically go to Auto 1. There is no way to have the fans completely off in video mode. If you're mainly using your S5iix for video, Auto 1 or 2 aren't going to make a difference. They're functionally identical, and under almost all situations will keep your camera from overheating. If you're a hybrid shooter, Auto 2 has the advantage of saving a little bit of battery life when you're in photo mode. Auto 1 and 2 are fine most of the time, but let me explain a situation where I like to set the fan mode to fast. During some outdoor wedding ceremonies, I'll have 2 S5iix's on tripods. Sitting in the sun, recording 6K for potentially over an hour, I feel safer putting the fans in fast. The 2 drawbacks to fast are the loud fan noise and extra battery use. But at a wedding, I always have lav mics on the couple. I always have a few other audio recorders going as well. So I'm not real concerned with picking up fan noise on the camera. As far as the battery use goes, I'm running these on V mounts, so I'm not real concerned about losing 2 or 3% battery for the peace of mind it gives me. Whatever fan mode you choose, the chances are your camera is not going to overheat. These things are just unbeatable when it comes to cooling. Subscribe if you want to see more videos where I take a deep dive into the settings and features of the Lumix S5iix that don't get talked about a lot. Watch this video if you want to see how different SSD brands impact battery life.